So this video is talking about mind and body. So most of the times we'll be working on the mindset to get more confidence. Then your body posture, your voice will be changed. So that is the traditional approach, which is to have the mind affects the body. So they asked that in this research, they wanted to show if the other way works as well, which is the body affects the mind. And they use some experiment. They ask people to assume the so-called power pose. So power pose, but as long as the pose is open, then that will be considered a power pose. And open, expanding. And then they realize when people assume that posture for 2 minutes, then their mindset, their hormone levels will be changed. They become more confident. They become more powerful. And then they realize, the body can affect the mind. And then, of course, they also ask people to assume the so-called low power pose, right? So it's closed, contracted. And those people, same group of people, their hormone levels also changed. And they became less confident, less powerful. So then in the video, you hear the professor say, we want to see whether the body can shape the mind. Then as a result, their research result shows that it can change the mind. Yes, so that's the reason that cortisol or stress level are increased with low power pose. Yes. So you can find this speech. So she gave us a TEDx. She did, I think it's a TED talk. She gave a TED talk. Initially, I think it was a TEDx, and then it has a big impact. So they brought to a TED stage. So you can go to either TED.com or you can go to YouTube, search Power Pose TED Talk. You should be able to find the speech given by Amy Cuddy, the professor. So what's the reason we're talking about this when we are having a voice workshop? So it sounds like it's body language, posture. So this is the first thing you want to know and remember, that voice is physical. So voice is physical. So if you want to improve your voice, you have to work on the body. So that's why that voice falls into the body category. So that's why when you change the voice, it will also affect your mind. You will feel more confident, more powerful. So that's why that we want to give you this video to reflect as well. And you realize that power pose, the change of the pose only takes 2 minutes. So in 2 minutes, you can become more confident just by changing the posture, instead of working on your mindset, which may take years, right? And I really started to feel, so I think I'm getting old. So I really started to feel now that it's so hard for me to change certain of my mindset. It is, when we want to work on the mind, it takes longer time. But working on the body is faster. So even though voice will not take some techniques in voice, it can take less than 2 minutes to make you feel differently. So there are some techniques, but the majority of the techniques, the skills in voice will take more than 2 minutes. So in general, it can take about 6 to 9 months, 6 to 9 months, but still faster than changing our mindset, right? So that's that part you want to keep in mind. So remember, the body can shape the mind, and also voice is physical. So because of that, so voice is physical, and when you work on the voice, you give you more power, more confidence. That's also one of the main reasons how I worked on my own voice. So a lot of people will always ask, oh, Cynthia, how did you ended up teaching voice? So I always say that I didn't choose voice. Voice chose me. Voice chose me. Because in my early career, I was being bullied by the very first boss after graduation. So then it was a very challenging, almost 2 years working for the boss. Then at the end of the 2 years, I really couldn't take it anymore because I started to develop physical discomfort, mainly the chest area. So every morning before I went to work, I felt, this part is very tight. So then I was sharing with my friend, and my friend said, oh, Cynthia, you're not assertive. So then I realized, oh, I need to work on my assertiveness. So I started to look for all kinds of different ways to become more assertive. And voice was one of the areas that I stumbled upon, or rather the speaking voice. So when I worked on my speaking voice, then I realized, wow, there are differences between speaking and singing voice. So even though I was performing, when I was young, I was performing singing. And that's also the reason my non-professional dream right now is to be able to sing jazz in a bar in Singapore. So I'm still searching. First, I'm searching for a partner where he or she can play an instrument and we can form a band. And then at the same time, I'm looking for opportunities. So that's my non-professional dream. And the difference in speaking and singing voice, that's one thing I noted. And the other one was that I realized when I improved my own speaking voice, not only I sounded more assertive, but also I felt more assertive. So it gave me a very higher level of confidence. And that planted a seed in me until about 13 years ago, when I was teaching in my last corporate job, teaching our employees about leadership and communication. So then there were people asking me, oh, Cynthia, how do we improve our voice? Then I realized, looks like that this is something people are looking for. So, and then all kinds of things happening at the same time, it pushed me to leave the corporate and then started my own business. So that's how I started. And also very interestingly, in the beginning of my my career, my business, a lot of people, a lot of clients, they were also not assertive. And that's where it really dawned on me that my struggle after graduation was supposed for me to experience. Because only by me experiencing that, I really could relate to those clients who are not assertive. Relate to them, not just on a cognitive level, but on a much deeper level, the pain, the struggle they're going through. So then the more I do, the more I realize, it's not that I chose voice. So I think voice chose me. So that's why that I'm still very passionate about what I'm doing. And also, of course, after the first 3 years, there are clients with all kinds of voice problems. Some of them, they sounded too assertive, or we call aggressive. So they came to me because people said to them, you sound too aggressive. Then they started to work on their voice. So you will see all kinds of voice, whole spectrum of voice problems. So if I can change my voice, if there are other clients, they can change their voice. The voice that you were born with, if you don't like it, you can change it. So if you didn't like the one you heard in the recording, you can change it. Changing doesn't mean that you become another person. So instead, you're actually elevating who you are. So you will find out more in today's session. So today's session, we're going to have 2 parts. The 2 parts, they are starting with letter Q and C. Q and C. So it's not quality control, it's quality and color. Quality and color. So the quality of your voice and the color of your voice. So the quality of your voice is to help you solve voice problems, like if you are having a very soft voice. So if you are in a meeting or even in a random gathering with friends, you are always asked, can you speak louder? So then your voice is too soft. So that's voice quality will help you. Or your pitch is too high, or you sound too young, or when you're nervous, your voice will be trembling, or you speak for some time, you will lose your voice. So all these can be solved in voice quality. Or you speak, you often feel breathless. So this is under voice quality as well. And all kinds of voice problems can be solved under voice quality. And color is the area where we will work on how to make your voice more engaging, more interesting, more inspiring. So that's voice color. So color represents emotion, because we do use colors to describe different emotions, right? We say someone is blue, is sadness. Someone is joyful, we relate joy to yellow. Someone is green, right? Green, envy, red, anger. So we use color to describe emotions. So those are the two areas we'll work on. And voice can be changed, but it takes time. So earlier I mentioned 6 to 9 months. So today we have 3 hours. So you will get an overview together with exercises. So we will be doing exercises, give you the roadmap so that you know, even after the session, what exercises you're going to do, where you are going to go. So that's our roadmap. And of course, after the workshop, if you want to learn and practice coach with me, I'll also share with you the different ways you can work further. Okay, so that's our overview, and we will have a short break. And before the break, we will talk about voice quality. Also, even after the break, we will still talk a little bit on quality together with color. Okay. So before we go on to examine your voice, the very first thing you want to know is that the voice you hear in your head while you're talking and the recorded one, they sound different, right? So the one you hear in your head, sounds very good. But the one you record it, it's not. So they are both your voice. The only thing is the recorded one is how others hear you. So if you want to know how terrible you sound to others, you have to record your voice and listen back. So a lot of my clients, after recorded, they said, no, I don't want to listen. So you need to have the courage to face the reality. So we are going to help you face the reality first. So what you're going to do is you will be, so we will use a paragraph. So I'm going to show you the paragraph. And okay, so this one, you will be recording yourself using video. So you can put your video on the screen, and then you can record yourself reading this paragraph. I read as you speak. So you don't need to make it like read it. So you read as you speak. So you put your phone here in front of you, do a video recording. Okay. So then, okay, so this is a long paragraph. Let me change the font a little bit. Change the size. So I'll give you about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So what you're going to do is record this, and then after that, you can send this recording to me. And then later on, during the break, I'll take a look. You can send through email. The email you received, you can just reply that. Okay, so I will also pause the recording. So now that you have faced reality, hopefully that you have watched your recording. If not, we will give you more opportunities to hear yourself. So that's the voice that before we worked on it. And for the voice, we mentioned the voice quality and voice color. So what kind of voice will make people listen? What kind of voice is powerful? So from our, one is from the clients descriptions. So they will always say, for example, oh, I want to have a voice like who and who. And then also from the observation of different leaders. And most importantly, from the potential in your voice, from the potential in your voice. Then we realize what kind of voice is powerful. It's a full voice. So the voice quality you're going to develop is a full voice. So a full voice is a voice that's projected with your full body. So that's this has been a voice you've been hearing for the past half an hour. So then I'm going to demonstrate you another voice. You see what the difference is. So this is the other voice. Can you hear any difference? So if you hear any difference, feel free to unmute yourself and shout it out. Okay, so did you hear any difference? If you hear any difference, you can share with us. Okay.
Yes, Cynthia, it's really airy. Somehow quite casual as well. Like I'm just gonna have tea with you and talk about really, I don't know, mundane things, like not important, unimportant things. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it sounds like.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Desiree. Very good. So she's describing the kind of the impression, the feeling that she got while hearing that voice. Okay. Yes. How about Marianne?
Yeah, I feel it's very light, like don't have the weight in the voice, and I can't really express the important message out. I feel. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So Faith, you can type into the chat. Faith is in a meeting, attending a meeting. So yes, so then you hear the voice differently. Then in my classes, they'll be saying, wow, Cynthia, is there a switch? There is no switch. And so the voice pitch is higher. So that's why Faith is feeling yellow. So then it reminded me of the song Yellow. And the voice is higher pitched. So usually we associate higher pitched to joy. Higher pitched is higher pitched and also is thin, very thin. It sounded more girlish. It lacks weight. Of course, there are different people have different impressions, especially in Asia. To a lot of guys, they say, hey, that voice is good. Because for them, still, I think for Asian men, they prefer a voice that's a little bit more girly. But it's also being conditioned in our society. You will find, for example, Japan, right? Japan, the women, they, in a way, purposely talking in a certain voice, right? So give people the feeling of, oh, it's very sweet, very obedient. Yes, patriarchy, yes. And, but as we started to rise, as women started to rise, we started to develop our own consciousness. Our consciousness level is also going up. Then we are developing ourselves, developing our power as well. So very interestingly, if you actually go to a lot of rural areas, you do feel the voice is not that high pitched. So in rural areas, in all countries, all kinds of countries, that the life pace is much slower people are much more relaxed, the pitch is not higher. That's something you can observe when you go traveling very soon. So now that we can all travel again. So in April, I was in Hawaii, not on holiday, but working. And very interesting, I realized the local Hawaiian people, they speak very slowly. And the pace is also very slow. The way they are speaking is like they're not native speakers, as if that they're thinking while they're speaking. It's just very slow. The pace is very slow, the way they're speaking. So that's something that you want to pay attention to. So the voice also, for a lot of people in rural areas, we mentioned that the pitch is not high. In cities, especially in big cities, the pace is too fast. Life pace is too fast. So people are tense all the time. Then the voice is going more and more and more up. So you would notice that the voice is almost going here. And then the voice is like a talking head. So everyone is walking around like a talking head. So I cannot speak in that voice for long because it's very tense, very uncomfortable. Then that's the other thing. Once you develop your voice to be the full voice, to be in the full body, you'll feel very comfortable. So you will never be able to change it. And one is your voice will be changed forever in the body. And two is you will feel very comfortable. And three is you will sound calm all the time, even when you're not calm. That's the comment I always get. So in all my classes, in my clients, they always say, "Cynthia, you sound very calm." I said, "But I don't feel calm all the time." So there are also times I'm nervous. There are also times I'm restless, but it doesn't show in the voice because the voice is more grounded. So, but in a way, it also helped me over the years developed more groundedness. So even though that I'm still feeling restless at times. So for example, this is probably my restless level before I developed my voice. But now, let's say the restlessness here, now it's probably here. So there's still a little bit, but it's lower. So that's why probably people will not be able to hear. It's still come across as more grounded. So that's something you can develop as well. So that's why we say you can sound calm and confident without feeling calm and confident. So if your voice is trembling when you're nervous or going high pitch, once you develop your full voice, these voice problems will be gone. So that's the difference between the head voice and the full body voice. So, okay, there's a question. Pace is associated with the impression people have of the intelligence level. Okay, so there's more individuals' view. Some clients, they do say that. They do say, I want to come across as more smart. So that's why I speak fast. And there are all kinds of reasons that they speak fast. But not entirely. So personally, I don't feel that. I feel that pace is more, especially slower pace, is more associated with people of wisdom, people with wisdom. You do notice that people who are wiser as they evolve on a more enlightened level, as they get more and more enlightened, they speak slower and slower. So that's something we do notice. So that's for that one, to answer Desiree's question. So that's for the voice, voice quality, full voice. And also when you have the voice in the head, you are really walking around like you're only using part of your body, and it's only probably 1/5 of your body. The rest of your body, you are literally disconnected from. So that's why more and more people in our society today are more and more disconnected from themselves, and more disconnected from other people. When we are talking, even though you're physically there, but your mind is probably somewhere else. So that's one of the reasons, because we're not connected with ourselves. So how are we going to get connected with ourselves? Starts from the voice. To have your voice go down, stay in your body. So that's what we're going to help you develop. The good news is once you develop that, all kinds of voice problems will be overcome, and you will reap even more benefits. You'll get more connected, you'll get more centered, more grounded. You will feel more calm. There was one client, she said, somehow now when I'm in a meeting in the past, whenever someone challenges what she said, she will get very argumentative. She will become very aggressive. But now she said, in meetings, I feel more calm. It's just she didn't work on being more calm. It's just as she was progressing with her voice, she started to feel more calm. So that's one of those benefits you will reap as well. So for full voice, to develop your full voice, we have our bar model. Bar. So bar model is each letter represents one step. One step, one stage, one habit you need to form. So B is breathing. A is activation. R is resonance. So these are the three things we'll be working on, doing some exercises. So for breathing, you probably have heard people say a lot. And then also there'll be something that you always hear people say, breathe from your diaphragm, breathe from your diaphragm. So what's the relationship between breathing and voice? So the relationship between breathing and voice is breath is the power of your voice. Breath is the power of your voice. It is the breath that powered your voice. So when we breathe out, first you want to remember, when we breathe in, the air will go into the lungs. So when we breathe in, the air go into the lungs. And then when we breathe out, the out breath will make the vocal cords vibrate. So you breathe out, vocal cords vibrate. So that's why we say that breath is the power of your voice. So you also see that because breath powers your vocal cords vibration, so the quality of your breath is determined by the quality of, the quality of your voice is determined by the quality of your breath. The quality of your voice is determined by the quality of your breath. So if your breath is shallow and weak, your voice will be shallow and weak. Like your breath is strong and deep, your voice will be strong and deep. So let's see, for the past 21 years, today you are 21, forever 21. And then we're going to see, for the past 21 years, have you been breathing properly? So what I would like you to do is to take a deep breath. And when you take the deep breath, you're going to observe which part of your body is moving. Okay, so let's have you take a deep breath. Okay. So once you finish, you can let us know. You can just unmute yourself and let us know, where did you see the movement?
I feel that my breath is stopped at here.
Okay.
This part.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Marianne. You notice the breath is stopping on the half body chest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. How about Desiree? Desiree probably is. Yes, go
Mine
ahead.
goes down to the stomach a little bit, but it's held back, you know, not all the way.
Okay. Yes. I think that you're probably at least half correct because of the practice you've been doing. Okay. And then looks like Faith is able to join us. So if you're ready, Faith, you can also share with us. Where did you see the movement? So
Yeah, so when I breathe in, my stomach does come out a bit. Yeah, but I'm not sure it's because I'm also quite fat. So that's probably why also.
Okay, yes. So then we will demonstrate first. So I'm going to demonstrate. If you are, when you breathe, taking the deep breath in and out, when you breathe in, if your shoulder and chest is move up, your stomach is going in, and then when you breathe out, drop. So breathe in, breathe out. If your movement is a little bit like this, so when you breathe in, shoulder and chest up, stomach goes in. When you breathe out, stomach comes out, shoulder and chest drop. Then that means you're not breathing properly. You are not breathing properly. So then that for the past 21 years, your breathing is not proper. But the good news is you have potential. So you're going to see where the potential is. You probably have heard people say, when we breathe, it will be the stomach movement or the belly. So let me demonstrate. So you see, if I just sit here and doing proper deep breath, no one would know. See, if I do deep breath, nothing, right? So see, no movement on the upper body at all, because the movement is not on the upper body. So that's why if you're nervous and if you're on a Zoom meeting, you can do deep breaths, proper deep breaths to manage your nervousness. No one would know because the movement is not on the upper body. So instead, it's here. Demonstrate. So if I take a breath in and take a breath out. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, so you see the movement is here, right? And then, so side view would be take a deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. So you see the movement is on the stomach, right? And also my breath is the opposite what you're doing, right? So when I inhale, the belly is out. And when I exhale, belly in. So this is the proper breath movement. So this is something you want to remember first. What is the correct one and what is the wrong one? A lot of people, they're not able to get this one remembered. Then you can imagine yourself as a balloon. So air goes in, balloon would expand, inflate. Air goes out, balloon would deflate. So that's the proper one you want to remember first. How do we correct your breathing? So you see your breathing is the opposite. When you breathe in, your belly in. When you breathe out, your belly is out. Then you're doing the opposite. So your breath is the opposite to the proper one. No wonder most people's life is upside down because the breath is the opposite. So we're going to help you turn your life around with the proper breathing. So it sounds interesting, but when you think about it, it is true, right? Because breath is our life force. If your life force is going in the opposite direction, then the life is going the opposite direction as well. That's why for the past 3 years, our whole world seems to be upside down as well. Because our whole world, even now, most of us, we don't learn the lessons. Even now, our world is still running upside down. So we're going to help you do your contribution to the world by correcting your breath. So how do we do that? So first, of course, you're probably wondering about diaphragm as well. We're going to find your diaphragm. So it's not that even though you're doing the wrong one, it doesn't mean that you're not using your diaphragm. You're still using your diaphragm. But your diaphragm is moving the opposite direction. So first, let's find our diaphragm. Our diaphragm is a piece of muscle that separates your chest from the stomach. So you can find your rib cage first. Find your ribs under the rib cage to dig in. This is where the muscle is. Doesn't matter how much fat you have. We all have the diaphragm. So under rib cage to dig in, this is where it is. You can cough a little bit. I see just by coughing, you see my hand moving out already. So that's my diaphragm. So you see whether you can feel your diaphragm? Okay, so that's your diaphragm. So when we are speaking, when we are breathing and speaking as well, when we're breathing, for the proper breathing, so I'm going to show you an illustration. Simple and easy to understand illustration illustrated by me. Okay, so the orange here represents your diaphragm. So we're going to take a look on the one on the right. The one on the right is always right. So you see that when we breathe in, both of them, they're breathing in. So this is something you want to write down. When we breathe in, the diaphragm should go down and out. When we breathe in, diaphragm go down and out. So as a result, you see the stomach comes up. That's when you breathe in. Not only the stomach, but also the back. So I'm going to demonstrate later. Again, you see my back is also moving a little bit. It may not be very clear, but there's a little bit movement. So when you breathe in, diaphragm go down and out. As a result, the stomach comes up. While on the left, you are also using your diaphragm. Where your diaphragm is go in and up, push the air out. Compress your lung capacity. So when you breathe in, that's why you see that your stomach is going in. At the same time, the downside for the wrong way of breathing is also that your diaphragm is compressing your lung capacity. You thought that you have breathed in a lot of air, but you're not. That's why when we do the breathing exercises, because so many years you have been breathing in the wrong way, your lung is not really fully used. So that's why your lung capacity is not very strong. And when you do the breathing exercises, a lot of clients, they will feel giddy very easily. It's because the lung capacity is too weak, too small. So that's why we need to build the lung capacity by the proper breathing. So this is the proper one. When we breathe out, so this is breathing in. When we breathe out, stomach will go in and push the diaphragm to go in and up, push the air out. So that's the illustration. From the illustration, you can also see the one on the right, which is right. When you breathe in, the body expands. The body expands. So that's why if you're nervous, the nervousness energy will not go to your throat, your vocal cords, to make your voice tremble, speaking fast, or going high pitched. Instead, when you are breathing properly, you see the body expands, the body can take on the nervousness energy. So that's why when you're breathing properly, if proper breathing is a habit, even if you're nervous, your voice will never show any sign of nervousness. So that's why there are times that before my speeches, my heart was pounding. But whenever I stood on the stage, no one hear any nervousness because the breath is correct. The body expands, it take on the all the tension. So that's something that you want to start practicing. And remember, the important thing is make proper breathing a habit. If it's not a habit, the trembling voice will still exist. So that's this illustration. So before we start practicing your proper breathing, any questions? Okay, so we'll stop the share. If no questions, then we're going to practice breathing. So breathing has the 3 levels of breathing exercises. 3 levels of breathing exercises. So each level takes about 2 to 3 weeks. So we'll start with level 1. Now, a lot of times my client will be saying that, oh, to make proper breathing a habit, I'll just need to practice every day, right? Well, you can, but still it's not to make proper breathing a habit. It needs systematic practice. That's the reason that for a lot of my clients, they're yoga teachers. But whenever they are paying attention, they can breathe properly. But breathing is still not a habit. So that's why we need to make sure that we're practicing systematic. So the level 1 breathing exercise is called Kung Fu breathing. Kung Fu breathing or double Kung Fu. So I'll demonstrate Kung Fu first. So here you want to remember that from now onwards, you're just going to separate your practice from normal breathing or speaking. Separate practice from normal breathing or speaking. Normal breathing and speaking, you can keep doing whatever you have been doing. But every day you have to have a little bit time for the practice to retrain how your body works. So this is a retraining process. And then also for all the exercises, because your muscle movement is not proper, so we have to do some intentional exercises. So Kung Fu or double Kung Fu, they are very intentional, very deliberate. So let me demonstrate Kung Fu first. And when we do Kung Fu, we're going to start from breathing out. Breathing out. When you breathe out, the stomach should go in. Remember, you're the balloon. When you breathe out, balloon will lose air. Balloon will collapse. So let me demonstrate Kung Fu breathing. We'll do our front view first. So when you do this, you can put one hand on the upper stomach, on the stomach area to feel the movement of the diaphragm. The other hand, you can just put it aside. And then starting from breathing out is deliberate. So we need to push the stomach in to let the air go out through the mouth like this. Then come back by self. So it's, because when you do this, the body is no more air, has no more air, so it will come back automatic. So that's why inhalation, we don't control it, just let it go. So side view would be, so you see, if I take breathe out, then come back natural. So that would be the Kung Fu breathing. So let's have you try it, and we'll use the mouth to breathe in and out. So I explain why we use mouth in and out later. But first, let's take a look at your practice. So if you're ready, you can either stand up or you can sit while adjust the camera. So I turn into gallery view so you can see everyone's practice. So if you're ready, give me a moment. Someone. Okay. Okay. So I can see for both of you, the movement is a little bit too subtle. So you can take a seat first. It's
I
a
will
little bit too
feel,
subtle.
I feel
Yes,
a bit like breathless.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Marianne. So the practice, because we're doing it on purpose and we're retraining how the diaphragm, the body works. So you have to push it a little bit more. So just now, the two of you, the movement is too gentle. So let me demonstrate one more time. You can do it with me. So you see it. Let it in. Then come back. Okay, yes. So now Desiree's movement is much more obvious. Yes, good. So then we see. Okay, for Marianne. Okay, because Marianne, your upper body is still participating. Push the stomach more inside, and then let it come back natural. Push it in once, and then let it come back. Okay. So we can pause for a while.
Cynthia,
Yes.
could you explain the technique again?
Okay. So the technique is that we're pushing the stomach in. So we have to purposely push the stomach in so that the diaphragm can go in and up, push the air out. So once the air is out, then we don't have air in our body anymore. It will come back, stomach come back naturally as an inhalation. So inhalation should be automatic. We don't control it. Yes. Okay.
Okay, so we push the exhale.
Yes, yes. Okay, so for Marianne, you can pause for a while. You may try the next exercise. So we'll try both of the exercises to see which one is working better. So the next one is double kung fu. We will push the stomach a bit more. So this time we're going to push twice. So it's like double, two folds in on one breath out. So this is what you're going to do. So for exhaling, we do like this. So it's and come back is still fast and automatic. One shot. So one more time. So that's what you're going to do. Let's see if double kung fu works better. Also,
When you breathe in, right? Is using mouth or using the nose?
Using mouth. So for both in and out, we're using the mouth.
Okay.
So I'll explain why later. Okay, yes, Marianne, this time is a little bit better. Okay, for Desiree is correct. Okay. Yes. Okay. So you can pause for a while. Okay. So what is your own experience in this exercise?
After breathing for a while, I will feel a bit like the heat, like the air is not enough, like that.
Yes, yes, that's right. So now you can feel a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how about Desiree and Faith? Not sure if you're still in the meeting.
This one feels a bit more forced. I mean, to get the double beat, to get the double, it's harder for me to push my stomach twice. I don't know.
Yes, yes.
Like awkward.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So I feel for you also, the Kung Fu works better.
Yeah.
But your double Kung Fu, you can do it, but it's much more natural for Kung Fu.
Yeah.
So in that case, you can just practice Kung Fu. For Marianne, because the stomach movement will need to be re-regulated. So that's why we're using double Kung Fu better. So for Marianne, double Kung Fu practice will be good. Okay.
Yeah, hi Cynthia. So for me, right, I somehow cannot do the breathe in through mouth. I naturally breathe in through nose, but I breathe out through mouth. Then I can do that. Kung Fu.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay. In the beginning, that's okay.
Okay.
But
Yeah, then
if
when
you
I try to use the mouth, then I similar to Desiree, my head feels a bit like a bit floating, like a bit lack of oxygen.
okay.
If
So,
I use mouth,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. If you can also demonstrate the practice. Let me see if it's correct.
Okay.
You can stand up so I can see your upper body.
Can you see? Yeah. Cannot.
Not in my.
Okay, wait there. Let me adjust the thing. Is this
Yes.
okay? Yeah, wait there. Let me point towards one. Can you see?
Okay, not very clear, but you can move into the camera a little bit more.
Okay, wait there. Let me change the position.
And then also you can try both. So you can try double Kung Fu as well.
Okay. Wait there. So, okay. Should I do it?
Okay.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Yes.
So okay.
Okay. Yes, I can see it. It's correct.
But it's nose and mouth. Yeah, nose.
That's okay. That's okay. The only thing is the movement is a little bit too small. So at this stage, for everyone, we want the stomach movement to be a little bit more, so that so when the stomach goes in more, then it comes back more. The inhalation will be more. When the stomach comes back more, that means the inhalation is going all the way to the bottom of your lungs. So that's why when you do Kung Fu or double Kung Fu, you must make sure your stomach comes back more. But comes back more doesn't mean by pushing. It's by you breathe out more.
I see.
That'll be for all of you. I see if I only do like this. This is too small. So you do, see how much it comes out?
I see.
Double, yes. So it comes back more. So front view is the same. So that's what we want to practice, to let the stomach come out more. Okay. So let me show you the client's practice. That's what he's breathing. Let's see. Okay, so he will be practicing double Kung Fu. Let me see the video. So let's take a look at his practice. So watch from the middle, where he does double kung fu. And come back. As you come back, how much more? Okay. Any comment on his practice? The movement is more, right?
Yeah, I feel is it like we need to expand as much as we can to let the stomach go out,
Yes.
like make use of the full capacity, and then when we go in, and we also go in at the full capacity.
Yes. Mainly when we go in, breathing out the full capacity. And then when it comes back, if you're not holding, it should come back full capacity. So then the inhalation, we never need to control it. So then recently I noticed some clients, when they inhale, they're trying to push the stomach. So when we inhale, it just let it go. Exhaling, we're pushing. And then for the hands, the hand is only here for reference. So we don't use the hand to push. So the hand is only for reference.
Okay,
So
so
even
we
without
focus on the exhale.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
focus on exhaling as much as possible.
that's right.
And then we will inhale naturally because, like you said, we're out of breath. So
Yes,
let that fill our bellies.
yes, yes. Okay, that's right. That's a very good summary. Yes. So we focus on the exhaling. So one more time, you see the hand, you can even pull like this. So here is to let you see the stomach movement. Yes. So then it comes back more. Same as Kung Fu. So that's for the Kung Fu breathing, Kung Fu or double Kung Fu. Okay. Any other questions for the breathing exercise?
You said you'll tell us why we're using our mouths.
Yes. So the reason we want to use our mouth is because you notice the client was also using the mouth, right? And you didn't hear a lot of air sound. It's very light. So one reason, key reason is because when we're speaking, the air is coming out of the mouth. So as you speak, especially when you're nervous, you speak, and if you're nervous, you take a quick breath in through the mouth, the noise will be much less. You speak, and then you take a breath in, especially if you're nervous, then everyone hears. And the other reason is the mouth, when it's opening, is much more relaxed. Remember that the best voice comes from the most relaxed body. The best voice comes from the most relaxed body. You have to make sure that your body is relaxed and you're not creating unnecessary additional tension. So for breathing, that's the other reason we use mouth. And the other thing is that when we're using the mouth has a bigger cavity. So it's much more easy to bring more air. For all the exercises we're going to do, we will be using the mouth. But in the future, when everything you're practicing becomes a habit, you can use the nose. So you will be automatically using the nose. You don't even need to practice. So that's in the beginning, we want to use the mouth. So now let's take a look at how you're going to practice. So remember, this is really the key in making progress and change in your voice. And it's worth repeating over and over and over and over again. Because no matter how many times I repeat, clients, they always do the opposite. And that is, so when we go back in your daily breathing or daily speaking, you don't need to do anything, but you are going to practice the breathing and the exercise you're going to learn later to help you retrain your body. Every day, you're going to set some time to do the practice to retrain your body. Once your body is retrained, you will notice your daily breathing is changed automatically. So some clients, they went back, they always try to do something. They say, oh, I'll try to breathe properly in my normal breathing, but it doesn't last long. Or I try to speak from the diaphragm, so-called, it doesn't last long. Of course, it doesn't last long, because that's not how voice is changed. The voice is changed is by you retrain the muscle, retrain how the body works. So how do we do the retraining? Is by daily practice. Then later on, as a result, you notice that, hey, how come my daily voice is changed? So to a lot of clients, they feel that, oh, it's like magic. Somehow practiced 4 months, 6 months later, they said, now in meetings, I can project. But they didn't do anything in their daily voice. Some also notice, when going for karaoke, my singing improved. And yesterday there was a client, she said, now when she sings, she can hit some of the higher notes. That is also one of the progresses you will notice. So when you work on your speaking voice, your singing voice, it will improve. You will expand your singing range a little bit, but not like this. On your own level, you expand a bit. So those are all the changes you will slowly notice, but it's not by you change on purpose. It's by daily training practice. Yes.
May I ask a question?
Sure.
What if we notice it the other way? Like, for example, when I was a child, I used to sing very well or very high or, whatever. And
Yes.
I feel like I've lost it.
Yes. That's also normal. That's as an adult, we will be losing that ability if we don't do any training. Because you will also notice the babies are breathing properly. The babies, when they lie on the bed, you see that they breathe in, tummy goes up, breathe out, tummy goes down. Babies are breathing properly. That's why they can cry all day long, loud and clear, never lose their voice. So then we wonder, wow, such a small body can produce such a strong sound. Same as animals. So I used to watch panda videos. Still watch once in a while. Whenever there's some panda videos available, you will notice they're so cute. And even the baby pandas, baby cubs, they can, I didn't know before, but as the more I watch about panda videos, the more I realize, wow, pandas can make sound as well. Sometimes they even make the sound like dogs barking. Yeah. And then for the cubs, sometimes just a few months old, they can make very strong sound. And then there's one video showing the panda sleeping, and you'll notice the tummy is moving up and down as well. So all mammals, human beings are also mammals. All mammals have diaphragm. All mammals except human beings are breathing properly. So that's why, so humans are not breathing properly, except babies. Because animals, they don't have stress. Or even if they have stress, it's not like humans, we have such a complex emotional system. It became trauma, it became a lot of things. But for animals, they live a relatively simpler life. That's why you see the lion, the tiger roar is so powerful. So that's the reason that we're losing it. It's around 3 to 4 years old. You ask them to breathe, ask the kids to breathe deeply, they will breathe in the wrong way. So as we live our human life, we started to become more and more losing touch with the proper breathing and proper projection. So now we have to relearn.
Yeah, Cynthia, I have a question. Can we practice this Kung Fu while we are lying on the bed?
Come again. Lying in
Can we
bed. Yes, I
practice
saw your
this Kung
question.
Fu lying
Yes.
in bed? Yeah.
Okay. So
Can
you
we do
can
that?
start with, yes, you can start with practice lying in bed. But then if you feel you can do it after lying in bed, then you sit up. You sit up and then do it. Because for our whole life, we still need to sit or stand.
Yeah. I see.
And
Yeah.
yes, the other thing is because for lying down, a lot of clients, they said, hey, how come when I lie down, I'm doing it correctly?
Mm.
I think it's not because you have changed. It's probably more because of gravity. Gravity, your stomach is more going up and down instead of left and right. So
Okay, and then just now I think I missed a little bit. Can you repeat? You were saying that so we start by using the mouth, then eventually when we do but master
you will
it,
be
do we still breathe or
no, so
mouth
you
have
will
to
be
go?
able to use nose automatically.
So the eventual is eventual outcome we want to achieve is in through nose but out through mouth, is it?
No.
No.
There's
So what's the
no
eventual outcome?
eventual
Is it still
outcome.
mouth
Yes.
and mouth?
Eventually you can do both. You'll be able to
Okay.
both.
But when we speak,
Yes.
but
But when we
speak, let's
speak,
say,
the air is going through the mouth and through the mouth. So that's why when you speak, it's more natural to take the breath in through the mouth. If you're not speaking, you can
so
use the
we
nose.
should try to use the mouth.
Yes.
Okay, got it. All right. Yeah,
So
it's not
if
easy.
if you have the tendency to use the nose, you can do what some of my
Yeah.
clients ask them to do: block your nose. Just block
Okay.
it when you're in practice.
Okay. All right. I'll try that.
Ah,
Thanks.
yes. And then the last thing is how we're going to practice. So you're going to practice on a daily basis. Every day, you're going to do as many times as possible. Each time, it doesn't have to be long. It can be just 1 to 2 minutes. 1 to 2 minutes of Kung Fu practice. So that will be good enough. Also, the other thing is, everyone will be telling me, every client always said, oh, I'm busy. Forget about the exercise. So we don't want you to specifically come out a big chunk of time to practice. You can incorporate the exercise in your daily activities. For example, if you are lining up for food, you can practice. If you are walking, some clients, they do brisk walking. If you are doing brisk walking, you can practice. And then all kinds of other activities. If you're in a meeting and the meeting gets boring, you can practice. So that's how you're going to practice. In order to make it a habit, is the frequency of the practice that matters more. Frequency of the practice, not the duration. The more you practice, the faster you become a habit. The body is being trained. So be doing this exercise for at least a month. Okay. So once proper breathing becomes a habit, then you will start to notice somehow that some changes some clients notice would be, they notice the way they're speaking is a little bit slower, the pace. The pace a bit slower. Some, they realize their voice sounds more relaxed. So those are some of the changes you may notice, but it differs from different individual as well. The other thing you will notice is it will definitely help you with your workout, all kinds of workout. Some clients, when they jog, they realize they can jog longer. Some, they can swim longer. Some, they also notice at the end of the day, they still have a lot of oxygen. So those are all the different benefits, just by making breathing a habit. Okay, so let's see if you have any other questions before we take a quick break. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, then we'll take a 10 minutes break. So we come back at 10:40. Okay, then you see there's so much about voice. 1.5 hours later, we're only scratching the surface on the breathing. There's so much about breathing as well. So breathing, we mentioned that there are 3 levels of breathing exercises. So first, you really need to practice Kung Fu or double Kung Fu for about 1 to 2 months, about 1 month. 1 month of Kung Fu or double Kung Fu. And then, so it's really a step-by-step process. After 1 month, we'll see your progress. And if you're progressing well, then you can move on to the next step. Then the 3rd step. So right now, we're not able to do the level 2 and level 3 breathing exercise because your body is just starting training. So as you started to practice each step, it brings you closer to make breathing a habit. So that's for breathing. And then also at the same time, for breathing, remember again, we really just need to practice on the aside, at a side, not in your daily breathing. In your daily breathing, you really don't need to do anything. The more you try to change, the further away you will be from where you want to achieve, which is a full voice. Okay, so that's breathing. And then we mentioned that the 2nd step for full voice is activation, which is to activate the chest cavity. So in our voice, the source of your voice comes from vocal cords. But vocal cords itself does not produce sound. You have to make vocal cords vibrate. Vocal cords vibration is the sound source. Vocal cords vibration is the sound source. And so let's take a quick look at your vocal cords. It doesn't look very pleasant, but we all have 2 pieces. So, okay, so the pale, these 2 small pieces, they are your vocal cords. Then you see how small, how delicate it is. So when the air passes by, it will start to vibrate up and down. And so it vibrates in this way, up and down, close, open, close, open. So let's take a quick look. Then it leads to your windpipe. That's the windpipe. Okay, so we stop looking at it. Every time when I played it in the workshop, they'll be doing, oh, I said, too bad we all have one. Or two pieces. So they're vibrating in this way. You see, open, close, open, close. And the sound from your vocal cords is very small and weak. The vocal cords vibration is where when you are whispering. When you are whispering, it's only vocal cords vibrating. So that's why you see, vocal cords vibration is so weak, it's only whispering. Then if you're only using the vocal cords, no one could hear you. The reason people can hear us is because we have amplifiers in our body. The amplifiers, there are cavities in our body that helps you amplify the vibration. And in our body, because most people are not breathing properly, so that's why the activation, there are 5 cavities in our body, they amplify the sound. The 5 cavities, they are nose, mouth, throat. Throat is at the back. Just now, the one you saw, the windpipe, the first part is the throat. So it goes in, the throat is at the back. So throat and then voice box. Voice box is here. So voice box, inside of the voice box is your vocal cords. So just now you saw the vocal cords, it's actually being held in a voice box. So for you, if you swallow something, you feel there's something moving up and down, right? So that's inside. Inside is the vocal cords, not the bones. The vocal cords, they are soft tissues. So this is where the vocal cords are. This is your voice box. And at the back is your throat. So we hear people say, oh, the back of your throat. There's no back of the throat. The throat is a back. So these are the 4 cavities most people are using. But the biggest cavity most people are not using, which is your chest. So chest cavity is the biggest. The reason most people are not using is because you're not breathing properly. So when you're not breathing properly, and proper breathing is not a habit, when you breathe, you actually compress the chest cavity, or chest cavity is very tense. Even if you want to use it, you won't be able to. So that's why that for the chest cavity is the 5th cavity that we want to activate. And how do they amplify the sound? They amplify the sound by means of resonance. They amplify the sound by means of resonance. It's like guitar boxes, right? Guitar, violin, cello, they all have boxes. The box is amplifying the sound from the strings. So these boxes are in our body as well. They vibrate, they amplify the sound by resonance. Resonance, you can read the whole chapter on resonance. So all of you, I think you have the soft copy of the book. If you want to know more about theory, read the book. But if we put it simple, resonance just means supplementary vibration. Vibrational source is vocal cords, and then supplemented by the vibration in the cavities. So vibration in the cavities can help you make the sound stronger. So that's why a lot of clients, when they start to develop chest resonance, they notice you don't need to do anything. Your voice just becomes stronger. And then what's even better is you really don't need to do anything except you need to relax more. It's counterintuitive. It's not by doing more, it's by doing less. So the more relaxed you are, the more you'll be able to breathe properly, and the more your chest cavity will be activated. So that's why relaxation is key in every single step of the full voice development. And of course, relaxation is almost lifetime work. We need to be relaxed all the time. I remember the time I mentioned that when I had the chest tension, my breath was being affected because the breath will get stuck here. So that's why you see that the tension will affect you not only the breath, the voice, but also of course your health. So that's for the relaxation. So that's why before every exercise, I always ask the clients to do sighing. So we take a breath in and then we do to release the tension. So let's all do a sigh. So we take a breath in and then we do. Okay, very good. And even better, you can do a joyful sigh. Okay. So then when you sigh, you finally, the tension being held in the body is going out. And we do sighing with a sound. Sighing is actually one of the ways to help you activate the sound here. Of course, it's not you're going to sigh all the time. Is that because when we really do this activation exercise, a lot of people are too much in the head. They couldn't do it. They were always asking, oh, how is it working? How is the sound being produced? And then now I'm going to do this so that I can control my sound coming out in a certain way. Then that's the totally wrong way to go. The voice should come out very naturally. All you need to do is to remove all the barriers that are stopping you from producing the best voice. But unfortunately, in our society, we are paying too much attention on the intellect, on the brain, on the mind. So everyone became so analytical. So in the head. So that's why a lot of my clients, they have so much challenge in activating the chest. It's because they're thinking too much. So they have to learn how to get in touch with the body. So one of the ways to help them get in touch with the body so that they don't overanalyze is by sighing with a sound. So again, activation will only be done after breathing become a habit. But right now, what you can do when you go back is to sigh with a sound more. So that will be the exercise I leave with you for activation. So we sigh with a sound. So you see what I do. I take a breath in and then we sigh. Just sigh naturally. Don't think. Let your body take over. So let's sigh it. Then you can also unmute yourself so I can see whether your sighing sound is correct. Yes, good. Okay. That the race is good, more natural. Marianne, make it more natural. Like, okay, let more air come out. Okay, yes, a little bit better. Yes. When you do this, remember, let more breath come out. So that's the exercise. You can start preparing yourself for activation. And then once it's activated, the next step is to generate even more vibration, more sound in the chest, and that is resonance. Okay. So then, once you go into activation and resonance, that's where you start to feel, this is so interesting because voice production does not need more effort. Most people, they're trying too hard to get the effort. So yesterday there was a client, he was practicing. I said, you're doing it too wrong. You are using too much effort. After the exercise, he felt so tired. And then some are still exerting even more effort on the vocal cords. Then after practice, they have a sore throat. I said, you are working on not having a sore throat. You're doing it in the wrong way. Ended up with a sore throat. So these are all the signs for you to know that, oh, I'm practicing wrong. So when you're practicing, you should feel very relaxed. The only discomfort you will have is lightheaded, feeling lightheaded, because your lung capacity is not strong. You're losing too much oxygen. Well, you're not breathing enough. So that's why in your breathing practice, make sure that your stomach comes back more so that you're training the breath to go into the bottom of the lungs. So that's a few notes for you to take. Relax more. So every time before you have an important meeting, important presentation, sigh more. So that's one, sigh more. If you also can, you can also yawn more. So, yawn more. So when you yawn, you're expanding your body, you're releasing the tension, you're letting the voice coming out. Even by yawning, sometimes when the clients were yawning, I said, now you speak, your voice is coming out more. So don't overlook all these seemingly very simple exercises. But the key, be it doing yawning or sighing, make it very natural. You don't think. The problem is that sometimes when we go to the next two steps, they think too much. All of a sudden, they can't even yawn anymore. They don't know how to yawn, sigh naturally anymore. That's really funny to see how our human intellect is taking over instead of letting the body take over. Remember, we said voice is physical. So we're helping you develop your trust in your body. Like the clients will always be saying, oh, if I don't do this, how will my body generate this sound or this sound? I always say that your body is smarter than you think. They know how to work. They've been working without you interrupting for so many years. So it's really interesting. Yes, Marianne.
Can I ask, actually, when we are in public, when you want to yawn, usually people will like this,
Yes.
right? So it means that if like we do like this, or maybe consistently we do like this, it will be like you are like not bringing yourself up, is it? It's more like like inwards. So it's like not fully make use of your lung capacity.
So yawning is more relaxing, let your sound come out. So in public, if you're not doing speaking yet, or if you want to do speaking before, if you want to do yawning before you speak, you can go to a private space. Or sometimes you can just let the air come through the nose. At the same time, yes, I still would encourage all of you to find all kinds of ways to stretch yourself.
Expand this part, right?
Yes, there was one client who was so interesting. He's in the head a lot. So I'm not sure how familiar all of you are with personality system that I love, Enneagram. So in Enneagram, there are 3 types for what we call the so-called head types. They are over analyzing even more. There was one client, he's a 5. So he's just sitting here. I said, you give me a visual feeling that as if outside of you, there's such a small box protecting you. This is how all you're interacting with the world around you. The way he was breathing was so little, and it was just so limited. I said, you're not exchanging with the world around you. So then you see, very interesting. They're too much in the head. And then not only too much in the head, but also because it's not in the body, so they're not exchanging with the world around them. So it's like you're putting an invisible wall around yourself, and the wall is limiting you. So no wonder, of course, his voice is also very soft. His voice is not coming out at all. Yes, Desiree.
So this sighing exercise is so good for me. I feel completely, it's very effective.
Yes. Okay.
But what I also notice is any nervousness that I've had just has dissolved, gone.
Yes.
So just connecting this back to kind of like, early on, some of the quality problems, right? One of the things that I notice in myself is that thing. It's when I get nervous, then my voice starts to break and shake.
Yes.
So can I then conclude that it's like all of that nervous tension is stuck in my body, all that energy stuck in my body, and that's why the voice shakes, because and this kind of, it's like I'm releasing it beforehand.
Yes.
Would you say it's something like that, if I were to connect it back?
Yes. So the nervousness, we mentioned that when you're not breathing properly, the body is contracting. So the nervousness has nowhere to go but to go to the vocal cords, make your voice trembling, or go to the vocal cords, the throat. So that's why some people feel this part is very dry as well. So that's why we need to practice not only sighing, but also everything we're doing, and make them a habit. When they become a habit, these challenges will be in much better control. So when we breathe properly, the body expands. So the nervousness and the energy will not go here. And also using the breath to help you release the tension. So before you go onto the stage, if you're nervous, sighing, and also do a few the Kung Fu breathing exercise as well, it will help you to release the tension. Okay, okay, very good. So for now, what you can do in voice quality, there are 2 things you can do. One is Kung Fu and double Kung Fu breathing, pick one. And the other one is sighing. Sigh often, sigh joyfully. So it's not a depressed sigh. It's a joyful sigh. Sigh as often as you can to release the tension. And the other one, if you can also do yawning more. So either sighing or yawning will help you make the voice come out more. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to do, it will help you with both voice color and quality. So this one, next technique you can do even without proper breathing becoming a habit. So this will also help you solve a few voice problems. For example, if your voice, people say, oh, you speak too softly. It could be, this is how you speak. If you're speaking in this way, then the voice becomes softly, monotonous, and also you sound like you're very arrogant. You don't want to talk to people, right? Some of my clients, this is how they speak. Then people give them comment, close friends give them comment that, oh, you sound very aloof. But also, or you sound very tired if you're speaking in this way, right? Sounds your lack of energy as well. So these are all the problems the next exercise can solve. So what's wrong with this one, just now I demonstrated, is that they take a breath in, but they never use the breath. They're just going to hold their breath and speak. The more you hold your breath to speak, and then later on, you will feel you're breathless. After you're speaking for some time, then you're going to gasp for air. Okay, that's really sad. That's you. Okay. So then, because you're taking a breath in, and for all kinds of reasons, you're not using the breath. Some of my clients is, one client, he said, really, there are really times I just don't want to talk to them. He said, I want them to get lost. And then there are some, it's because of nervousness. It is really very common. So a lot of clients, they realize that as they're typing on the computer, all of a sudden they say, I'm not breathing. So because of all the tension, for example, you see something very stressful, then all of a sudden fight and flight, you're not breathing. So holding the breath is a very common problem. It can happen to everyone. So that's why you want to observe, when does it happen to you? So when you notice that, what you are going to do is not to take another breath. So some clients thought, oh, I just need to take another breath. Not really. You're already holding the breath. The more you take, the worse it gets. So instead, whenever you realize you're holding the breath, you must find an opportunity to breathe out. Find an opportunity to breathe out. So we're going to take a look using a paragraph. So for example, the Winston Churchill paragraph we're using, right? So let me bring it back. The Winston Churchill paragraph. Okay, where is it? Okay. We're going to use it as a reference, as a practice. So for example, when I'm going to demonstrate. Okay. So if I'm just going to say, so I'm going to pretend holding the breath and speak. Then somewhere I realized the problem of holding the breath. Then there I'm going to let the breath go. So you're going to observe how I let the breath go. So take a breath in. Every time before you speak now, take a breath in. The breath, it doesn't have to be proper at the moment because you're still practicing the breathing. So this is what you're going to do. Take a breath in. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and suffering. You ask, what is our policy? Okay, so we stop there. So in the beginning, I was holding the breath. Then did you notice where I let go of the breath or how? Okay, so if you heard it, you can unmute yourself and let me know.
Is it the last part? You asked what is our policy?
Okay, the last part. How did I let the breath go?
A stronger sentence.
Okay. You heard something stronger.
You paused.
Okay, paused. So okay. So actually, this is what I did. So I'm going to demonstrate one more time. So the sentence is correct. Now you're going to see how I let the breath go. So first you take a breath in. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask, what is our policy? So how did I release the held breath?
You emphasize on that word.
Okay, yes. So it sounds like I emphasize the word. The word is what. But actually what I did is let the breath go on the word what. Then you also realize if you're holding the breath, you tend to speak very fast. So that's the other problem for a lot of people. They speak fast. Either they're holding the breath and speak, or they speak fast and after a while they find that they don't have enough breath. So that's why we're going to solve the problem. One is you're going to lose air, lose the held breath on certain word. You can lose the breath on the word that brings out more message. Like here is what is our policy, right? Or so that's how you're going to release the held breath if you notice you're holding the breath. So the next time when you realize you're holding the breath, then you're going to let the breath go on certain word. So it's, remember, emphasis is letting go of the breath on certain word. So you have to let go of the breath. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate one more time. This time I'm going to demonstrate a little bit different. Let's use the same beginning, but I'm going to let the breath go on other words. I'll become smarter, realize the problem earlier. So it's take a breath in, hold the breath. Where before us an audio of the most previous kind. So I'm holding the breath until the word most, I realize the problem. Then I let the air go on the word most. So one more time, take a breath in, then you hold the breath. Where before us an audio of the most previous kind. So on the word most, I let the breath go. So how do we let the breath go on the word most? Is we prolong the sound a little bit. Let the air go through the nose. Most. Or you can also let the air go on the word grievous. So it become, we have before us an audio of the most grievous kind. So the re sound, I'm letting the breath go. We have before us an audio of the most grievous kind. So you can pick any word, but there's the word you must let the breath go on certain sound or syllable. For M started words, mostly is M. For N started words is N. So on the sound, we lose more air, like most, never. So we don't do never, most. That will sound weird. So it's more on the single sound, like most, never. But other than that, it'll be more one syllable, like grievous, grievous. Okay, so let's have you try the first sentence. Take a breath in, but hold the breath and speak as a few words, then lose the held breath on certain words. So let's give you some time practice, and then we'll hear from you. We'll hear from your practice and give you some suggestion, feedback. Okay. So whenever you're ready to try, you can just unmute yourself. Yes.
I want to ask, like, I find, I don't know where to breathe in.
Okay. So then that's the wrong focus. We want to focus on where you use the breath.
Oh,
If
okay,
you're using
okay.
the breath, if you're using the breath enough, you'll be breathing in automatically.
Okay.
Yes. So let's try to see how you're going to do the sentence. Focus on using the breath.
We have before us an order of the most reverse kind. We have before us many long months of struggle and of suffering.
Okay, so we can just pause there. We'll just practice the first sentence. The first sentence we're holding the breath in the beginning, then lose the breath on certain word. So let's do the first sentence one more time. Hold the breath first, then lose the breath.
We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind.
Okay. This time the practice was not as good as the first time. The first time I could hear you were losing more breath on most, and actually after most you were taking a breath in.
Yeah.
The breath in was automatic.
Uh,
So that's what we want to achieve. You never want to think about where you take the breath in, because when we're speaking, it's already too many things to think about.
yeah.
So you just want to focus on one thing, which is where you use more breath. When you use more breath, your body will take the next inhalation automatically. If it doesn't, that means you didn't lose enough air.
Okay.
So when I say we have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind, after most, my body was immediately taking the breath in. But if I do, we have before us an ordeal of the most grievous. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. So after kind, my body was taking another breath in, because grievous kind almost like one word. So your body kind of will figure out where we will take the breath in.
Okay. I try again. We have before us an order of the most grievous kind.
Okay, the most can lose more air on the sound. So we do most.
Most.
So on the sound, let the air go through the nose like most. Most.
Most.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's where you want to try.
We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind.
Okay. So the most can lose more. We have before us the most grievous kind.
Shall I continue or shall I try and start again?
Try the same sentence.
The same sentence? Okay. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind.
Okay. Yes. Yes. This time the most was losing a little bit more air.
We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind.
Yes. Okay. So after the most, you can take a quick pause and then give the body the time to take the breath in and then continue. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. Just one short pause, my body was taking the breath in. So you see, actually, even the pause is automatic because the body needs time to take the breath in. So that's why, remember, exhale more, exhale more, exhale more. If you exhale enough on the keyword, then your body will take inhalation automatically. So this is how you're going to solve the problem of holding the breath. If you notice you're holding the breath, always lose the breath on certain word, lose the entire breath, so that you're done with this held tension. The entire breath, lose it. Will be for us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. So now I lose the breath on the struggle. So then it's the same in your daily conversation. Whenever you notice you are holding the breath, like what I'm demonstrating now, then, see the word then, I lose the breath. And when we say lose the breath, it's lose the entire breath if you're holding the breath. Okay.
Yeah,
so
that's really helpful, Cynthia, because I think I lose it, but only partially.
Yes.
And then I try and catch it, and then I try and so it gets very staggered.
Yes. Yes, that's right. Okay. So you see, once you start to lose the breath, it helps your voice become clearer, stronger, and also more relaxed. It will sound more relaxed. At the same time, you start to have key messages. So people can hear your message better. Like we say, most, grievous. So then this exercise we're doing is to let go of the held breath on keywords. To let go of the held breath on keywords. This itself helps you solve so many problems. If you're speaking fast, it will also help you slow down. So that's the technique only when you notice you're holding the breath. But on a daily basis, we also want to lose air more often. Lose air more often. Because when you lose air, you use, then you can replenish the air. And you will sound much more consistent. At the same time, whatever you're going to say will have more color. More color. For example, I'm going to demonstrate this paragraph one more time. This time we're going to speak normal, not holding the breath, but we're going to bring our practice to the next level, which is on a daily basis, when you're not holding the breath, how you're going to speak. So you're going to speak with always using breath on certain words. So I'm going to demonstrate. Take a breath in first, then we start using the breath. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many, many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask, what is our policy? I will say, it is to wage war by sea, land, and air, with all our might, with all the strength that God can give us, to wage war against the monstrous tyranny, never surpassed in the dark, lamentable catalogue of human crime. That is our policy. You ask, what is our aim? I can answer in one word, victory. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory, however long and hard the road may be, for without victory, there is no survival. It sounds very consistent, right? You didn't hear when I took the breath in, when I lose the breath. There are also parts towards the end, the pace gets a little bit faster. There's more emotion. Message is clearer as well. I see, were you able to hear when I took the breath in? No, right? And actually I took a lot of breath in, a lot. So now we're going to kind of analyze it. So the technique again is to use the breath on keywords. Use the breath on keywords. So for example, first sentence, the keyword is most. So first take a breath in. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. So after most, my body was taking a breath in automatically. That's already the second breath. And then after grievous kind, I took another breath in. Didn't plan it. The body just took breath in. Because probably the body sensed there's a long sentence ahead. So then took a breath in after grievous kind. Then we have before us many, many long months. So after long months, my body was taking another inhale, inhalation automatically. Because long months, I use more breath, right, to emphasize long. And then of struggle and of suffering. Long months of struggle. After struggle, I took another breath in. Because struggle, I was also expressing it, struggle, right? And then of suffering. Suffering I expressed. After that, I take a breath in. You ask, what is our policy? So after that, I take another breath in automatically. Because you notice whenever I'm expressing using the breath, so our expression, our emotion, we need to use the breath to express. Whenever I'm expressing, then the body will take another breath in. And when I say expressing, emphasizing, you are really using as much breath as possible. Only when you use enough breath, then you will take the automatic inhalation. So also some clients will say when they started to practice, they say, oh, is this too much? It is too exaggerating. Then you think about when I was going through the paragraph, was it exaggerating? No, right? It's not at all. It's because your inner ear is not used to have more air going out. So when it goes out a little bit more, your inner ear feels, oh, it's too much, it's too much. So that's why even for your practice, you want to record it so that you can use the recording to adjust your inner ear. When you record it, the words you thought you have emphasized or expressed is probably not obvious. So that would be the practice, which is use more breath on keywords. Exhale more on keywords. Exhale more on keywords. Okay, so let's see if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, okay, let's see if we have any questions first. So if you don't have any questions, we're going to focus on the bolded words. We're going to practice from there. Because that's where the emotion is, strong, even stronger emotion. Before that, there are also different emotions he's expressing. This is a speech by Winston Churchill. And the bolded one is even more emotion. So we start from, I can answer in one word, victory. Just stop here. So yes, I can answer in one word, victory. Just here. So here it shows determination by the word one. Because the enemy is so powerful, we don't say, okay, let's try and fight the enemy. If we win, we win. If we don't, we'll retreat. So that's not how strong leaders think. They do things. They are very focused, very strong-willed, very determined. What is our aim? I can answer in one word, victory. So let's just try this sentence. I can answer in one word, victory. Put more breath on the word one and victory. So you can even try the word one first, lose more air. One, more air. So instead of one, not this one, answer one and victory. And this is, some clients will also ask, oh, this is a speech, but how about daily speaking? It's the same. In daily speaking, you will have times where you want to show determination, firmness, assertiveness. These are all done by using more breath on the word. Using more breath, and the breath goes fast and strong. So this is what you want to write down. We're going to work on two main emotions, two types of emotions. One type of emotion is strong, like determination, firmness, assertiveness. The breath needs to go out strong and fast on the keyword. So here the keyword is one and victory. So on the word one and victory, you need to go out more using stronger breath. I can answer in one word, victory. See how we do it? Word is strong and fast. So let's give you a little bit time to practice this sentence. Okay, so you practice this sentence, and then we'll hear from all of you one by one. I'll give you feedback. So let's have you give you 10 seconds to practice, then we'll hear from you. Let me get something. I'm a little bit hungry. So use more breaths on the word one and victory so that you can breathe in automatically afterwards. So I didn't tell you where I breathed in because I want you to feel it yourself. So if you're ready, we will hear from whoever wants to go first.
I start first.
Mm.
I can answer in one word, victory.
Okay, the one is okay. The victory can go even stronger.
Okay.
Mm.
I'll try again. I can answer in one word, victory.
Yes. Okay. Not bad. So after you say it in that way, how did it make you feel?
How do I make it? Like more powerful? Because just now I'm finding the tonality, like how to say the one word and the victory. So initially before I present, right, initially I feel the one a bit like a bit light, even though I try to breathe out, but it sounds light. So I think I can try to tone down a bit. Yeah, more on like the lower chord. I think So it's at least it sounds with a bit of weight in the
Okay.
word.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
I can answer in one word. Victory.
Okay. You one can give it more.
I can answer in one word. Victory.
Okay. So yes, that's your face, and then I'll give you feedback, all of you.
Don't want to use my nose to breathe. Okay. I can answer in one word, victory.
So
And sorry, I sound nasal because I'm also a little bit having a cold.
So at this moment, we want to separate different practices. So for face, it's okay at this moment if you are still using nose to breathe. Just remember that whatever we're doing, we focus on one thing at a time. If you focus on too many things, like whether nose or mouth breathes, then you will find, oh, there's too many things, and we won't be able to do any one of them well. So for all of you, so we use more breaths, even more. For example, the one, I can answer in one word. And then because there are two words only, one and word, they are a phrase. So we put the breath on the one, and then after that, we don't pause. We don't say, I can answer in one word. So make it a little bit faster, but still put the energy on the one. Yes, I can answer in one word. See the difference? And then after that, my body was taking the breath in automatically. Because there's one is that I used a lot of breath. Two is there's another word, victory will need more air. So then there are a total of 3 breaths. One is before I speak. Before I speak, take a breath in. I can answer in one word, victory. So before victory and after victory, the body was taking the breath in. So when we want to convey determination, those very intensive, strong emotions, the pace needs to go a little bit faster. If I say I can answer in one word, victory, the determination is a little bit less. So that's this sentence. Remember to lose more air. Use more air. When you use more air, the body should take the automatic inhalation. The only thing is sometimes it's a phrase or sometimes a single word. Here, one word is a phrase. I can answer in one word. Okay. So this is this sentence. And then after that, this is something we want to learn as well, which is sentences of three. The rule of three. So if you want to speak with power, speak anything in your mind, construct three. Three, they could be three words repeating, or three words they are repeating in similar sentences. This will help you build up the momentum even more. So here he has victory at all costs, victory, victory, victory. So three victories. The three victories, they're not on the same level of emotion. There is an escalation of emotion. So it's even more intense, more intense. So it's a victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory, however long and hard the road may be. So it goes up. Because it's determination and building the momentum, the pace a little bit faster. Pace goes faster, and then the strong volume goes stronger as well. So that's how we build up the momentum to escalate the emotion. But going fast doesn't mean victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory however long and the road may be. Then it's just like wind passing by somewhere, left nothing. So even though it's fast, if you paid attention, you notice every sentence, there's one word I'm emphasizing as well, or expressing. Like victory at all costs, the word all, I'm expressing it. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror, victory, however long and hard the road may be, long and hard. So when you're speaking, you want to have people, you want to leave impact on people. So that's why you're not typhoon left and everything has the same damage. Or strong wind passing by left nothing. You have to leave something, which is some words you need to highlight. Okay, so let's have you practice it. And of course, this sentence I didn't know where I took the breath in. I only knew that whenever I emphasize the word, the body was taking an automatic inhalation. So that's why your focus is on use more breath. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror. So it was after every sentence, my body is taking the breath in automatically. But the third sentence is a bit different because however long there I expressed, so I took a breath in, the body took the breath in automatically. Victory, because there's a momentum coming. So after the third victory, when I pause, the body is taking the breath in. Victory, however long and hard, after that, take a breath in, the road may be. So that's where, if you want to know how many breaths I took, that's how many breaths I took. But again, your focus is not on taking the breath in. Your focus is on use the breath. Okay, so let's give you some time to practice these three victories. And then only the three victories. So whenever you're ready, you can try it. Yes.
Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory, however long and hard the road may be.
Okay. Okay. So we'll give the feedback once we finish with all of you.
Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory, however long and hard the road may be. That's all.
Okay. Okay. And Faith.
Okay. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory, however long and hard the road may be. For without victory, there is no survival.
Okay. Okay. So the determination can be stronger for all of you. And then the pace can go a little bit faster. There are times we go very slowly. In general, the pace is slower when we speak, but there's only certain situation our pace needs to go faster. And this is one of the very few, which is if you are building up strong momentum. If you are building up strong momentum. So everyone's pace will need to go a little bit faster. But if we want people to relax, for example, relax, then we go slower. So here we'll go a little bit faster. That's one. The other one is the emphasis will need to get more breath, like victory at all costs. So every victory needs to be strong. I can answer it in one word, victory. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory, however long and hard the road may be. So that's for your suggestion.
Should we try again?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory, however long and hard the road may be.
Okay, yes, better. Then you can also feel something different, right?
Yeah, urgency.
Okay, yes. Okay. So then you will see, the voice actually can change how we feel.
Okay. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory, however long and hard the road may be.
Okay.
Okay. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory the road may be. For without victory, there is no survival.
So we're 3 victories first. No, not survival yet. So for Marianne, it's a fast, but you are having the issue I was talking about, which is it's only fast, but there are certain words that were not emphasized. So your victory at all costs, instead of victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror. That's only pure fast. So it needs to, the wind needs to fly by and then stop. Stop at certain words. Victory at all costs, victory in spite of all terror. The rest of the words you can go fast, but there's one word you need to emphasize. And then for face, there will need to be, so it's still a little bit slow, and then it needs to have more breath on certain words. So here you really want to think about where you can apply. This is something you can really apply. Whenever you want to convey firmness, determination, the voice needs to, the breath needs to go out strong and fast. Two, if you want to make your message stronger, construct sentences of three. Say that if we do it now, blah, blah, blah. If we do it now, blah, blah, blah. If we do it now, blah, blah, blah. Make your message much stronger. And if you don't do it now, blah, blah, blah. So that's the stronger emotion. And then the last sentence, we're not talking about it because it's a different kind of a direction going. That's also the second category of the voice color. So just now we have the intensive emotions. The other category is the kind of opposite, a little bit opposite. So the opposite will be that the breath goes out slow and long on keywords. That's to convey a different type of emotion or voice. The emotion could be empathy, caring, and the voice could be reflective voice. All the three types, you will use the breath going out slow and long. So for example, we don't say, I understand your situation. If you're saying, I understand your situation, what kind of feeling would you get? It sounds like there's a but coming. I understand your situation, but blah, blah, blah. So you don't want to have people have that feeling of a but is coming. So you can say, instead, the breath will need to go long and slow on the word understand and on one syllable. Remember, the breath goes out either fast or strong or slow and long, only on one syllable or on one sound, like M and N sound. Any word starting with M and N will always go on the sound. But other than that, is always the syllable. Like grievous kind, right? Grievous. And then, so for understand, which syllable would we go slow and long? Would it be, I understand your situation? Sounds weird, right? So if you're not sure, you can always try. Or I understand your situation. Sounds better, the second one, right? So then will be more, I understand your situation. To show empathy. I understand your situation. So that's one. The other bonus point is not only breath going out slow and long. If I only going out slow and long the breath, it will be, I understand your situation. I understand your situation. Versus, I understand your situation. Yes. Okay, very good. So you notice the pitch goes like this. The volume also goes like this. So the pitch goes lower, volume goes quieter. I understand your situation. Instead of I understand your situation. There's still no feeling, right? Because understanding empathy is more comforting. So we're actually comforting people. When we're comforting people, the voice is not going to go as normal volume. Same as reflection. If you want to have people reflect, if you have never have that reflective voice in your presentations, it's time for you to put it in. Just before you want people to take action, you need them to reflect. For example, the product or service, right? You say that something as, do you think that these benefits, do you think these are the benefits that you are looking for? So we make them reflect. Or Do you think that you want to put your family through that? That's for reflection. So reflection, they don't need to respond, but it's for them to think. So here is the reflection, the last sentence, for without victory, there's no survival, is for reflection. So it's victory, victory, victory. For without victory, there is no survival. That's for reflection. And also you see that after survival, there's no more words, but you're not just going to stop abruptly. There's no survival. You'll pause for 2 to 3 seconds, even though there's no more word. It's like those pianists, they play piano, right? After the last note, they do this. And then they face the audience and make a bow. So same. Okay, so let's try. But before you try the last sentence, the other side, you see, however long and hard the road may be, but without victory, there's no survival. If I do this, it's also very abrupt, right? It was so high, I was escalating the emotion so high, all of a sudden it's so low. It's abrupt. So that's why the high part to the low part, you need a bridge. And the bridge was the word without. So the without is from high to low. However long and hard the road may be, for without victory, there is no survival. So that's that one. So let's have you tried. So we build a bridge for without from stronger volume to quiet volume, going down, and then after that is reflective. So we'll just try the last sentence to make people reflect. Build a bridge and make people reflect. If you're ready, you can just start. Whoever is ready, you can start.
However long and hard the road may be, for without victory, there's no survivor.
Okay. So then the last one will need to go a little bit higher so that you can have the contrast. However long and hard the road may be, for without victory, there is no survival. A little bit more reflection. Okay, so let's have the others try.
Cynthia, sorry, do we start at however long and hard, or do we start at for without victory?
You can just start with for without victory.
Okay.
But if you feel the tendency to have the first one to make the contrast, also feel free to do that, whichever is comfortable to all of you.
Okay. For without victory, there is no survival.
Okay, so the reflection can be a bit more. There is no, it can be not more, can be a little more quiet. For without victory, there is no survival. Yes, Faith.
Okay. For without victory, there is no survival.
Okay, and that's too rushed. Okay, so that's the other thing that all of you want to learn is that be comfortable with taking your time. Because taking your time here is to make the impact. No time, no impact. If it's too fast, there's no more impact. Okay, so that's reflection. Reflect your voice. So we have talked about two types of major emotions, and you can think about in your speaking, daily speaking, in your meetings, presentations, how can you use it? For example, some clients will be doing, this is final. The final is firm. You need to make sure the final is fast. This is final. Strong and fast breath. Strong and fast breath. And then caring, empathetic, yes. I understand your situation. So the breath is physical, is body. It will change how you feel. I see just now that as you are speaking with more determination, you also start to feel differently in your body. So that's for the voice color, the way we use different breath, different ways to use the breath to convey different emotion. Okay, so that's the voice color. And we do a quick recap. So we covered voice quality and voice color. Voice color just now, we already mentioned there are two types of different emotions, how we use the breath differently. And then for voice quality is to develop your full voice. There are two exercises you can do right away. One is Kung Fu or double Kung Fu breath. Practice it daily. And then the other one is, what was the other one? Sighing. Yes. Okay, very good. Yes, so that's already remember. Sighing or yawning. But at the same time, on top of those four things, we also mentioned if you realize you're holding the breath, what do? Right? So you will be using the breath on the keywords. Use the entire breath. Okay, then you see time flies by. It's already about 3 hours coming to an end. We're only scratching the surface. So I give you more time to practice. And of course, so if you do want to work with me more, you can consider either one-on-one coaching or group coaching. So we do have a group coaching coming up, but it's early next year. So it's January 12th. So I'll give you the link in the group, in the chat. So this is the group coaching website. So for the group coaching, it's 3 months. So let me see, I'll also share with you the screen. Okay. So for group coaching is 3 months. Then you will see the date is here, 12th of January to 28th of March. So it's 3 months. And then in the 3 months, we will be focusing on the voice quality to help you develop the voice. So especially after today, if you start practicing breathing, and when you join the group coaching, your progress will be faster. Then you can go through the website to look at the details. Different modules will be covering. And then bonuses. So the bonuses are for enrollment before 30th. And then also, of course, the investment. So this is the investment. For your workshop, so if you want to join the group coaching, you will get the $190 included. So which means that you will just invest 2,500 minus the 197. So your investment in the workshop will be considered, is rebated to the group coaching. But you have to let us know by end of this month as well, 30th of November. So after 30th November, then you will be not able to get a rebate. So that's one little incentive. Okay, so that's on group coaching. So group coaching, I run about once or twice a year. So that's for the next year. And then of course, if you want to do one-on-one coaching, so it'll be more going in depth, you can also let us know as well. And same for one-on-one coaching. You will also get the rebate of the 197. Okay, so that's for today. And I'm very glad that the three of you not only came, but also are able to participate actively as well. So also at the end, whatever we're learning, if we don't put into practice, nothing will be changed. So I'd like to really have you think about what is the one thing, only one thing, not all 5 things you learn. What is the one thing that you're going to start applying or practicing? They can also shout it out. Okay, that is a Kung Fu breathing. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Same for me, Kung Fu breathing.
Okay. Thank you, Faith. How about Marianne?
Yeah, the double Kung Fu breathing.
Okay. Very good. Then yes, so I think you all have my contact information, either on my on LinkedIn or Instagram. But let me also see my contact information page.
Will you also be sharing this recording to us?
Yes. So I'll be sharing the recording to all of you as well. So this is my contact website. And then you can find me on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram as well. If you are on Instagram. So the most important thing
ask?
is,
Okay,
yes.
so the way we speak, right? Does it also use the same way when we speak in Mandarin?
Yes. Yes.
Like because I understand, and I feel that the understand we can drag longer, but if you speak in Mandarin, 我明白. Then this I feel,
Mandarin, yes, because in Mandarin it's all single syllable words, right?
yeah.
So single syllable words, when it's a phrase, it's easier actually. We drag one word in the phrase, like 我明白, 明白.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But understand is more 理解. 我理解.
Is it? Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that's right. So whatever language you speak is the techniques are the same. Because my clients are from all over the world, they speak different languages as well. They were able to use the same techniques back to their own native language as well. So yes, keep in touch and all the best. Keep breathing, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And one more thing. So just now during the break, because it takes some time to download your video, so I wasn't able to download them all yet. And you will receive the recording and also my comment, my feedback on your recorded voice.
Thank you.
Yes.
you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you so
bye.
much. Take
Bye.
care. Have a